What's going on? Welcome back to episode 7 of the Talkin' Shop podcast. We are wrapping up a 3 and 4 week, which very easily could have been a 5 and 2 week math. But my name's Kevin. We got Will and Ty here. I am in a different location. I'm actually in St. Augustine, Florida, in an Airbnb, and I've got my mother and my mother-in-law in the adjacent group, so I'm trying to be somewhat quiet. And my audio probably doesn't sound like great. But
your audio sounds like shit.
sound like shit all the time. So it's fine. But anyway, 3 to 4 week. Padres series a little bit rough. We definitely should have won both games with the ladder, but we took one. Got some momentum going to Chicago. You guys got anything you want to say right off the bat?
Off the bat, Will White, Billy Blanche, Bayou Bill is the first to 15 wins, so I'll take that. It sucks what sucks is that I got 2 losses in 1 week, which, oh man, so I think that kind of encapsulates what it's like to be a Braves fan right now. Like, oh, the sky is falling. We got 2 losses in 1 week, but that means my overall record for going to games is 15-3. So, okay, so be it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it kind of summarizes the point Ty made when we were at the game a couple weeks ago, because there's a next to us, and pretty good. And I was like, we just show up to the stadium and they usually win. It's pretty fun.
Yeah. I mean, I think that's still mostly true. I mean, it might feel like the sky's falling, but as of right now, they are on pace to win just over 99 games, and 1 game behind the pace they were setting last year when they won 104. So it's been rough watching this offense the last few weeks, but we can dig into it in a little bit. But team's still good, and I still have a ton of faith that they'll get things going in the right direction. So.
The long ball is starting to come, boys. I've seen it lately. It's something that we've been holding our breath for, but I've seen a lot more from the guys that we expected from. Marcel's still throwing his long ball. Now that it seems like it's heating up. Olsen is turning the long ball. He had an incredible shot this afternoon in the first game of the doubleheader. There was a no-doubter, 30 out of 30 parks went out the park into what we call, as we've referred to before, as the Matt Olson home run oasis. But no, man, I think the offense is coming around. I think the issue with the offense is that we haven't had a consistent lineup in a month, right? Everybody keeps getting hurt, so we're just waiting for people to get back to the lineup, and we'll see at that point.
Yeah. On that note about the home runs, about Olsen's no-doubter today, it is the shortest home run ever. So it had a exit velocity of, I believe, close to 114. I don't recall what the launch angle was. It is the longest home run.
It was 27.
It was like a perfect home run.
Oh, yeah, it was perfect. As soon as it went off the bat, I was at the game, so I went to the doubleheader today. As soon as he swung, I went, oh, no doubt. Before I even hit the ball, I went, yep, gone.
Yeah. Well, anyhow, with those metrics, exit velocity, launch angle, the shortest home run ever hit with those figures. So,
by you're talking like the time for the ball to get out of the stadium?
No, just the shortest distance of a home run hit that hard at that angle. So you tell me, right? Like, you want to talk about why there's not more home runs? Because
it was a 415. It was 415 feet.
It still went a long way. It just didn't go as far as it should.
Yeah, okay. Oh.
So yeah. Like, it's still. So I don't know. Nerf balls.
Yeah. I just all about the back half numbers. 113.4 off the bat, 27 degree launch angle, 414 distance. That's wild.
Yeah. So anyhow, there was no 2 ways about it.
And I'll tell you, when he swung, everybody in the state was like, "Yep, that's gone." It was one of those classic Mac Olson's, like, boom. It was.
I said this,
and we've said it good, man. It felt good.
Yeah, I sent the screenshot in the group chat that there's like a specific look when you're watching on TV when he hits a ball and he kind of turns his head to the side. He's like, yeah, I got it. And if you start like kind of walking down to first base, you're like, oh yeah, I'd love to see it.
But the problem with that is that what I feel has been going on lately is that, like, we've sort of, and it seems like in this homestand we had a lot of that, and yet a lot of that offensive production, the people we've been waiting on to make those moves, they make it happens, but still yet somehow we figure out a way to lose these games. And that's why I think it's been frustrating for Braves fans lately.
Yeah, we've been having like small moments of, the offensive potential shining through, and then, it just doesn't. I don't know. It's not like cohesive and like where the whole team is clicking yet. I think it's crazy that our record is still as good as it is, even though they haven't been able to click like they can, like we saw all of last year. And maybe we shouldn't set our expectations as high. Like that is the standard, right? Maybe that's the ceiling. But yeah, even in game 2 and 3 today, or I'm sorry, both teams in the doubleheader, string a couple hits together. Like we got to Cease, we put up 5 runs on Cease early, which is awesome to see. And then
we beat Cease's ass, by the way. Let's not pussyfoot around that one. We whooped his ass today. It wasn't until JJ came in the game that they had a chance. Like, they got to Cease, and I was scared of Cease when we got to the game. I was like, oh man, because there was all that drama about, there was the rumors about we're gonna bring Cease in to our system, and then there was all the drama around like whether or not he was gonna be a free agent, who was gonna sign it, and blah blah blah. But I thought that we really dominated.
Yeah, and then just for the record, it was he was traded. I think he still has several years of control, if I'm not mistaken. But yeah, he did a good trade to the Padres, obviously. But yeah, their asking price was huge. I don't remember what exactly the trade package was, but they gave up a lot to get him. But he's been dominant this year. He's been very, very good. And yeah, maybe he has some little coming home vibes. He went to Milton High School. I could play disc golf with his brother, which is kind of a cool little thing. But yeah, definitely cool to see us put up some runs. Unfortunately, we lost that game, and I was listening to most of that game, the first like 7 innings, and then I turned it on my phone because I had some downtime. I had to like go to the grocery store, or we were like at the beach earlier and stuff like that. So finally got to sit down and start watching it, and that's right when JJ came in and 4-pitch walked the first batter, and then gave up a single, another walk. Here we go. 4 runs later, yeah, we lost the game, but it happened.
Which is something that honestly I'd like to get y'all's opinion on. So the thing that people always bring up is that Snit is a terrible decision maker when it comes to bullpen decisions. And I'm gonna admittedly be a Braves homer here and a Snit homer to say that I in general I give Snit the benefit of the doubt. But lately, it seems like Snit has made some decisions that have cost us. So whether that's when we were going for the combined no-hitter and we brought Iggy in and we used his arm up, and then that maybe cost us in the next game where we didn't have him. Or like today, what confounded me was that, so normally our typical rotation is you go JJ as the middle reliever, AJ as the setup man, and then you break up in your closer. Well, so Snit changed that, and it went AJ was in the 7th, and then JJ came in the 8th, and then that's when AJ they got a 4 spot on him. So part of me wonders is like, I don't think that Snit listens to us plebeians and gives a damn about what we say about stuff. But why make that switch, right? Like, that was weird. Because to me, it's like, okay, just don't. All we've been saying is, okay, just don't put HA in the 9 hole, like in the 9th inning. Like, that's all we care about. Just put AJ in the 8th. It was just a weird. What really happened was it was a pitching matchup with righties and lefty.
Yeah, I understand that too.
but still, it's like, and I also think if I'm honest about it, it seemed like what was happening there was, so yeah, he liked those pitching matchups, and I don't know, the whole thing confused me. And I guess it's 2020 vision, right? Because it's guys that you rely on. But what I think is really happening too is because we've been in weird spots lately with the offense kind of struggling, we haven't been in positions where we get our normal rotation where we're going in with, okay, we're up this certain amount and our normal rotations coming in. So like, for instance, I don't think AJ and JJ have pitched in like a week. So I think them potentially being rusty might have played a factor in today's doubleheader if we're going to talk about that.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I think it's so as far as like the whole AJ coming in the 7th versus the 8th, I was trying to quickly find some stats on that. I haven't thought of it as like a true like 7th inning guy, 8th inning guy, 9th inning guy myself, right? Like I know particularly when like Pierce Johnson was healthy, to me you've got like the 4 guys who are 7th or 8th inning, right? Like you've got Bummer, you've got Jimenez, you've got AJ, and you've got Johnson. To me, those are your 4 like 7th or 8th inning guys, and in my mind, they mixed and match. And honestly, like I had no issue with the way he handled the bullpen. Like I think at the end of the day, like you just got like it's like the worst timing ever for him getting to pitch like shit. I will add that like the 4-pitch walk was utter bullshit. Like it should have been no balls, 2 strikes, and like, do we win the game if those ball strike calls are made correctly? I don't know, but like, you don't open with a 4-pitch walk. I say that damn much, right? So I don't know. I guess I didn't see any issue with it today. I certainly don't think Sticker gives a damn what we have to say. Like, I'm not sure that guy even has a Twitter account. Like, I think if there's anybody that's like insulated from public scrutiny, it's him. As he should be, right? Like you start worried about what the fans think, you start sitting with them shortly thereafter. So,
but we all agree that seems to be where a lot of the fan, whatever you want to call it, like the scrutiny, the rumblings are coming from is Snit's management of the bullpen.
Yeah, but I think people are just
where we keep losing games right now.
It's just where managers make decisions. Right? Like,
yeah, it's also hard to win. It's also hard to be a fucking reliever, right? Like, it's hard.
Yeah. I think it's just what like simpletons complain about because it's easy to complain about because it's the most tangible way to connect a manager to performance.
Exactly. Right? And then, so if JJ comes in there and mows him down 1, 2, 3, he looks like a genius, but you don't hear those people moaning about, oh, Smith's an idiot for putting him in the gate. You know what I mean? Like, that. Sometimes it's going to work out, sometimes it's not. And today it didn't happen to work out. And I don't think that's all that thing. It might have just been JJ didn't have it
today. Yeah. And to be honest with you, I was trying to kind of like, this is the type of thing I was thinking about. I was like, well, he just let JJ go the 9th. Like here I am kind of counting my chickens before they hatch. I'm like, okay, I want to get both of these today. I'd come to the conclusion that this was a dumb idea even before I like texted the group about it. But in my mind, I was like, okay, maybe JJ goes like, oh, so we saved Iggy for the 2nd game, but that would have been stupid because you never know if you even have the lead. Like you get the win when you have the opportunity. At any rate, I don't know. I had no issue with the way he handles today. I assume he put AJ in on a matchup basis, but like if somebody could double check me on that, maybe that's totally wrong.
No, dude,
Jackson Merrill, dude.
I do know that when they brought AJ in, they had a righty up to bat. So I do know that when it happened, I was like, oh, that's a good decision because you got this lefty coming in against a righty. So I knew what it was doing. But...
Okay. Anyhow, who knows? The end of the day, I don't think like JJ pitched like shit. He normally doesn't do that. And I don't think there was any way of predicting it. And I don't think it'll happen very often either. I think the timing was just atrocious, right? Like you finally get a good start, the good production out of your lineup against Dylan Cease, like we talked about, and the bullpen that's been rock solid, reliable all year, particularly in Memphis. shit the bed, right? Like, what are you gonna like? It happens. The timing was terrible.
I guess it's just Jimenez's time to just shit the bed, right? Like AJ did it last week, so it's JJ's time, right? Like it's the bolt. It sucks to be a reliever, right? Yeah, exactly.
It just had her. I'm not sure if this is including today's stats or not, but I'm looking at baseball reference the gym and says the stats. I think this was probably before today, but so that's before the 4 runs that he gave up today. But he already has points out of the WAR this season as a reliever, which is okay. But he's 1-0 with a 1.5 ERA, 18 strikeouts, 8.82 whip. He's been very good, and I'm going to have those days. He's one of the best relievers in baseball. So, should happen.
I think for me personally, and I acknowledged it today when I walked in the stadium when I was talking to my seatmates. So I've made a bunch of friends with the people that sit in my section. Is that okay? Yeah, we've been at this point in the season. We've been through like a 3-game loss, and unfortunately, we got to a 4-game loss today. But when I got into the stadium, and even though I was texting my dad as I was walking into the stadium, it was like I had this weird sense of urgency, like we need to win right now. But it felt that way because if you think about it, we hadn't won since Tuesday, even though it was only 3 losses. But because the rain out happened, it felt like, it's rain out. Oh, it's raining down on us right now. But I don't think we're in a bad as spot as it feels. So and this week felt particularly bad. I think honestly because of the way that we lost, right? Like we took out 2 out of 3 against the Cubs. Game 3 of the Cubs admittedly kind of sucked from first pitch, right? If you remember that, it was a first run home run out of Tawkin, just jacked it. And then Friday was a game that we should have won. And then Saturday got rained out. Today, game 1 on Monday. We had the game 1 until what we just talked about. JJ came in, and then I think there are, and this is another thing I talked about with my buddy that came to me the game today, is there are certain expectations that we have with the Braves right now. But if you look at the stats of where we're at compared to previous seasons, we're right on par of where we should. And I don't know if we want to get into it right now. And it's the talking point going around in a lot of different groups that I've seen. But it's we've had a tough schedule so far. I mean, if you look at it, and I don't know who grades these things, but what I've seen is that Braves have had the 9th hardest schedule thus far, and Phillies have had the easiest schedule. So it sucks to be, I think we're 4.5 games back right now. I mean, that sucks. It's because we have these expectations of where we should be, and we're just not there. But I guess the thing that I would just reiterate to Braves fans that are watching this is, it's May, boys and girls. It's May. Let's relax.
Yeah,
I think we're right where we should be.
It's May. Yeah, you're absolutely right. I mean, I think the reality is, we are going to struggle with some math here right now, but we're about, I think, 44 games through the season. We're sitting at 27 and 17.
Today was the 44th game of the season.
Yeah. Last year we were 28-16 at this time. Today we're 5 games back of the Phillies, even though I broke my cardinal rule of checking the standings before Memorial Day. So today we're a game back of where we were last year, and we're 5.5 games back and 5 games back of the Phillies. Last year we were 5.5 games ahead of the Mets for first. The difference in the season is not the way the Braves are playing. Yeah, you can dig into some of the actual statistics and say, hey, the offense isn't playing as well, and you'd be right. But as far as the record is concerned, they're right on pace with what they did a year ago. The difference is that you have the the Phillies on pace to win 115 games. And you know what? You told me the Phillies were going to win 115 games start of the season. I told you, guess what? They're going to win the division. So, I think these things will all kind of pan out, right? We'll either win the division or we won't. But this team
But
is
hell,
just as good as we thought they were. Like,
the point that I would make to that is like, okay, my God, we're lucky to be where we're at right now. Think about all the injuries we've had so far. First of all, we don't have Spencer Strider, so we lost 20, essentially 20 wins, 200 strikeouts. So there's just that. Let's just talk about that. Let's just wipe that off the table. He had Ozzy Albies out for 10 days because apparently his toe was made of aluminium, like the same shit that Wolverine's shit is made out of.
Really?
You still don't have Sean Murphy, the all-star catcher that we had last year. Austin Riley has now been out for 10 days. I mean, we've got good news on Austin Riley. I mean, and hell, we had Darno out for this whole series too. Like, we've had to deal with a lot of stuff. So the lineup has been in flux for most of the season.
The lineup that came out the last day or two have not been that sexy. Zach Short and Trump in there, and
Yeah,
not as deep as it started out.
yeah, for sure. But it's still like deep compared. Like that's what a normal Major League Baseball lineup looks like, right? It's just we're spoiled rotten.
That's what I'm saying. If you tell me that if you're gonna lose, what's that? 1, 2, 3, 4 all-stars in the first quarter of the year, and you're still chasing the Phillies, like they really haven't put that much distance on you. You're still like one of the best records in the MLB. Like, if you told me you lost those 4 people, we'd still be fine, then I would have laughed at you, right? Like, I think that's the takeaway.
Yeah, and then I think you add on top of that, like, they haven't been awful, right? But like Riley at this point last year had 7 homers and 26 RBIs. At this point, he's got 3 homers and 18 RBIs. So he's actually, I think, traditionally been a slow starter. He's not that far behind his pitch from last year, but definitely lagging a little bit. But you look at Olsen last year at this point, had 12 home runs and 32 RBIs, sitting at 5 and 23, right? Also another slow starter, but particularly with him, like the slugging percentage in there. Last year, he was slugging .515 at this point. At this year, only .392. Acuna had at this point last year 11 homers, 27 RBIs. This year, only 3 homers and 11 RBIs. And Acuna is just like not anywhere close. Like we shouldn't have expected Acuna to replicate a season from last year. But he's dramatically short of where we were a year ago. When you look at
bench him, right? Bench him.
He's not bench him. I'm just saying, yeah.
No, I'm making fun of the people. I'm making fun of people there.
I guess my point is it's not even just the injuries. It's you have these guys who are like Olsen, Riley, Acuna, those 3 in particular. Like when the end of the year rolls around, like the number is gonna be there, right? Like Olsen's gonna have his 40 home runs and his 110 RBIs. Riley's gonna have his 30 home runs and his 100 RBIs, right? Like if we just get backload all those, the second 75% of the season, sign me up, right? Like so like there are good things to come with this offense. If none of these guys perform, when it's all said and done, and it'll be the first time ever, and shit happens, right? It is baseball, but I think there's a lot of I think the fact that we're sitting where we are today with the injuries and with the underperforming players, should leave everyone optimistic, not run around like chicken little here. So
yeah, man, it could be way worse than we're at right now.
Yeah.
I'm happy where we're at. And not to say that I don't expect more out of this team, but man, we could be in way worse position we're at.
For sure.
Be Rockies fans.
Yeah, we could be Rockies fans. I mean, this team could easily be 500 right now, and you kind of go, yeah, well, that's what you'd expect when you have all these injuries and you have, Riley.
Well, you know why we're not though. You know why we're not though is because Mr. Man Big Bear and our pitching staff.
Yeah, the Big Bear, Chris Sale, the dog. My lord, that man is just holy shit. That guy just. Who was it? Codify? Some like national Twitter account today had some. Normally they're like a stats-driven account, but they had some picture of him like looking in to get his arm, and I think the quote was just like he looks like he's trying to kill the batter. Like that's my picture right there. That's the guy I want on the mound.
How you like them apples.
Yeah, right.
They like
Yeah.
them apples.
So I don't know. I know we're probably harping on this a bit more than maybe is interesting as a viewer, but I think we're all pretty confident in what this team has going forward, and confident that, it feels weird. So yeah, they're gonna get this thing turned around. Like 101.
My thing is, if they don't, I mean, I think that we've gotten spoiled as Braves fans to think that we can just beat teams by 6 runs every time. Like, guess what? Sometimes you have to beat teams by 2 or 3 runs and be okay with that.
I think there's a bit of a misconception that they were dominant for the entire season last year.
Yeah.
Right. Like at this point in the year last year, they were batting 258 as a team. This year they're batting 251. Their slugging when OPS was definitely up, but they weren't the best in the league. Right. Like all those record finishes they had where they were, highest slugging ever, highest OPS ever. Like that shit came later. Like they didn't just come out of the gate like just setting the world on fire.
Yeah, no one was talking about the Braves in May like this.
Yeah.
Like, this was a July, August conversation.
Everybody was talking about the Tampa Bay Rays at the time.
Oh yeah, 100%.
So I mean,
and we were so happy just to under the radar, like, all right, yeah, we're coming for you, bro.
Yep. And oh, by the way, the offense on this season, 7th in batting average, 8th in slugging, and 7th in OPS. Like that's the league numbers, right? So this seems good. We still say it every week.
What?
Again, no.
Yeah, okay, we got nothing on that. So,
we were here, but it was like,
and I'd be curious to know our strikeouts. I feel like we're striking out a lot more this year.
Well, Acuna certainly is.
Yeah,
but he might have been cheating. He only struck out.
But I also thought,
yeah,
with this series too. So
back off.
If you look at the other thing that I think was frustrating for us with this last homestand that we just finished with the Padres, right? So they got to 500 playing us. I think though that this is a different Padres team, and I'm not trying to make excuses about this, but to be fair, we ran into their best pitchers this series. Also, they added Arias, who knows us very well. And I also think that he certainly enhanced their their batting lineup more than really can be said, because he offsets it by 1. So he's going to get on base. And it also puts him in a very good position when you look at the way that their distribution of hitters go. It drops them down, and he also helps them on a righty-lefty distribution. Yeah, and that's what I kept saying to people in the stands, like, oh, he got a hit and he'll get pissed off. I'm like, no, dude, Arias is
what he does. Yeah.
Oh, we know him. We know him from the Marlins. And then that's the other thing. He's already seen us because he's already played 2 series.
Glad we don't have to play him all that.
He's going to play more series in Atlanta than anybody.
Well, no, we'll see. Well, maybe that. So we'll end up
not anymore now, yeah. But to this point so far this year, yes.
Right. I'm just glad he's off the mark. He's gonna get his hits. He's good at baseball. As much as that might pain you to say, the guy's good. He can just hit it. He can hit. They compare it. What's up?
Oh, dude, you should have heard the I'm blank on his name, but so the Braves organist. So he had a good song for Arias. It was Arias on the line. It was great. It was I'm blank on it. Hey, but I'll look it up. I can link it later. But it took me like 2 seconds to figure it out. I was like, oh man, it was making fun of him. He would make fun of him and they'd get a hit. I was like, yep, that's what's gonna happen.
Yep. It's okay. The Padres just won a series against the Dodgers, right? Like they're good. Like they're hot. Maybe they're not good. Yeah. So
they won the series against the Dodgers. They got swept by the Rockies, and then they won 3 out of 4 against us. Like, yeah, that's kind of their team, right? But like to my
When
point,
did Jerks and Profar become good?
Was Mr. Will and he was irrelevant?
He is irrelevant. I've never agreed with anything Will Smith has ever said before until now. Yeah, damn it. Fuck you, Will Smith. Will Smith strikes again. Fucking asshole. Anyhow, I don't know. It is what it is. Easily it should have been a split today. Like freak out, not just today. Should have split the 4-game series after playing like dog shit for the first 2 games. It is what it is. Baseball happens. We're going to Chicago. And I don't know. At the end of the day, they went 3-4 on the week, right? Like that's not that big of a deal. It'll be fun.
So we got Chicago tomorrow for the week.
Yep.
And then what's the weekend series?
Pittsburgh, and we're dodging Skeens and the other guy. Apparently, there's like 2 whole good players on it.
Man, we're dodging Skeens. I would love to face Skeens.
I would be fine with it either way, but like obviously we have a better chance of winning when we don't have to play against Skeens.
Yeah, I guess what I'm saying is I just want to play him because I want to see him.
Yeah,
as a Baton Rouge boy growing up in Alice Box Stadium, as LSU Tiger, I want to see Skeens.
Yep. No, I get that. And I would have been fine with it either way. But in terms of our prospect of winning,
he looked dominant against the Cubbies.
They have Skeens and Jared Jones. And Jared Jones is on my fantasy team. He's been very good too. Yeah. And so I think those are the 2 guys that we missed.
Did they still have that outfielder?
Reynolds?
Yeah.
Yeah, they do.
They're just gonna hold on to that guy until people realize he's not like a top 5 outfielder like they thought he was 2 years ago, aren't they?
Yeah, basically.
Yeah, they could have sold him for like Soto selling price. Now they can't.
I don't know about that high, but
I mean, what did the Padres get for Soto?
I don't remember.
So we were looking this up on game 1. So we were thinking that Padres were in like the top 10 of, payroll. They're number 17 in 2024. So I think
payroll.
I think Dumpin Soto helped them on that regard.
I don't know what it's now.
It must have been more than that too. I mean, they got rid of Hader, they got rid of Soto, they got rid of. There had to have been more.
Like
Snell.
I'm trying to think.
They had a pitcher too, didn't they? It's in they traded for some guy from like the Guardians. Clevenger or something like that.
Oh, that was several years ago, like when Bauer was still pitching.
Yeah, but you've been on
You mean the greatest pitcher of all time, Trevor Bauer? He would revolutionize anybody's rotation. Trevor Bauer.
Yeah.
But some a little bit of news today. They sent down Ray Kerr and Bryce Elder on Darius Vines. Interesting. I also heard some blurbs that they might try to stretch out Ray Kerr into a starter.
So then why send him down? I guess to stretch him out there.
Yeah, get a few starts in AAA probably. See how he does in more than 2-3 innings. He's been looking good out of the pen though, man.
He's been great. And unfortunately, we've put it in bad spots, right? We've had to bring him in when it's like, hey, man, fuck you. Go save the day, I guess. Like, and he's come in and just been fine, I think. Like, he's done everything we've asked him. I'll say that.
Yeah. I would assume if they move him into a starting role, it's going to be like a opener type of a starting role. Like it's like you go out there and get 3 innings, and then we bring in Lee, and then we bring in Chavez, and that's how you cover the game. I assume it's not like a true starter role. But who the fuck do I know?
Yeah, I don't think they're going to do the same thing they did with Ronaldo Lopez. I think they should go with that. Like, I don't think you can ever replicate that again.
Yeah, and I think at the end of the day, like I think I still maintain that this team is gonna sleepwalk their way into the playoffs if they have to. And at the end of the day, Ray Kerr is not starting a playoff game for you. If Ray Kerr is starting a playoff game for you, things have gone completely haywire, and your odds of winning those playoffs are not very good to begin with, right? So I would hope that all of the decision making aligns to what do we need in October. And I think Ray Kerr in October is a reliever, not a starter.
He's a
so
reliever,
I hope,
for sure.
yeah. So I hope that they don't. I don't know. I think he's a.
I think the next guy we see come up in the 5 spot is obviously AJ Smith-Shawver, right? Like that's the most logical thing to happen.
I don't know. I don't think they're going to screw around with. I think Shawver and Waldrop are going to get it.
Waldrop for sure. No, do not touch him. Leave him alone. I don't want to see us mess around with Waldrop. Let him keep developing. I don't want to mess with that. I think there's high potential there. But Shawver's already been brought up. We've already done this last year. Why not?
Yeah, I think I don't know. I don't think they're gonna rush him. Like I think
Russia, we already did.
Yeah, but like I don't think just because he came up last year means that you have to like rush him back this year.
Yeah,
I think they're gonna cater.
He's been doing down there. Like I guess what if I have to be honest with you, I think we talked about this before we went live about this. It's really a matter of timing of when does Ian Anderson get ready? When does Oscar and Noah get ready? Right? That's I think I'm waiting.
So in 2024, AJ Smith-Shawver has started 8 games. He's 1-2 with a 6.10 ERA, 31 innings pitched, 35 strikeouts, 1.52 WHIP.
Yeah.
I think he's been very good lately, though, right?
I don't even know.
I think because Carter too.
I actually think Darius Vines has been the best in Gwinnett lately, and I'm not, don't put me on record for that, but when I see highlights come up, it seems to be Vines coming up in the conversation. So I think that's probably, I mean, that's why you see him coming up, probably, right?
Yeah. And it looks like Shawver has not been particularly good lately.
Yeah.
I just don't think they're going to rush him. Like, I think you'll see him this year, but I think it won't have anything to do with need, and it'll have everything to do with his ready. You'll see Dylan Dodd come up and eat innings. You'll see Winans again. I think Vines was fine, to be honest.
I like Vines, man. I just think he seems like he gets tired, right? You can only use him like 2 times, and then it's time to send him back down.
Yeah. So, rumor today was that the Braves are, quote, keeping a close eye on Zach Eflin.
Is that the guy in Tampa Bay?
Yeah, which I find very intriguing. I don't know how the Royals are good, but like Seth Lugo would be interesting.
Yeah, that's
anyhow. I think the Braves, like, they'll probably do what they do every year, which is go out and get like a 5th starter, when it makes sense, and maybe they'll do it earlier this year than they have in the
like
past.
an Rizzi, right?
Yeah, hopefully better than Oduduki.
Yeah.
Or Cheerios. Yeah, exactly. Hopefully better versions of those 2 guys.
But we're still talking about a 5th start. That's what still gets me going. It's like we're talking about a 5th starter. Like,
yeah,
this is just to get us every 5th win. And I know it might matter when it comes down to like final standings and stuff, but at the end of the day, this is not something that we need to stress about when it comes to we can clearly see who the guys are lining up to be when we line up for a playoff.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. I don't know. We'll see what they do. I think you're gonna see, like, honestly, I'm surprised Elder has spent as much time up here as he has. I said early on that I thought it would be a revolving door. I'm not at all surprised to see Vines come back, but I'm a little surprised they're not giving Dylan Dodd a shot. Maybe he's been awful. I don't keep up with the minor league performances.
Dylan Dodd's actually been pretty decent in Gwinnett. So
you just need somebody to come up and like not shit the bed, and you need your offense to play good, and you'll probably win about half the starts, right? Like that's
the problem is with any of those guys is they're you give them enough starts, they're gonna shit the bed. That's the problem.
Yeah.
That's the good. That's the good. So everybody gets upset about the revolving door, but the good part about the revolving door is that you get potentially the upside. The upside is you get the best versions of them when they're hot, right? So if the the GMs are doing their jobs well enough, it's like, oh yeah, he's hot right now, so boom, put him in, then rotate in whoever's hot next.
And you get to pick their spot too.
Right.
You get to pick their matchup. I mean, that's one thing that stood out to me about some research I did on Bryce Elder's stat. Like, his career numbers are not that bad, right? He's got an obscene number of games started against the Marlins and the Nationals. Like, from 2022 and 2023, he was spot starting against those two teams every chance they had. Like, yeah, we'll bring him in. He's a quad A pitcher. Let him start against this quad A baseball team, and we'll see what happens. So, I don't know.
Yeah, Ian Anderson though, it's an interesting topic because I feel like a lot of people have just forgotten about him since he got injured. But I know he's kind of had his up and down moments in the regular season, but in the postseason, he has started 6 games. He's 4-0 with a 1.26 ERA, 40 strikeouts, and 35.2 innings. And he also famously had a 5 no-hit innings in the World Series in the game 3 or game 4. So
that's why he has a bobblehead, right? That's why the Braves get a bobblehead out of him, right?
So there's that. Just sit down there in AAA waiting to rehab. So that could be.
And we're already halfway to halfway. So like we just gotta kind of hold on.
Yep. All right. So we've got we're like 25% of the way through the season now, which is crazy.
44 games. We played 44 games. Today's doubleheader, the second game of the doubleheader, was the 44th game of the season.
Yep.
Which so I had my radio in as I was watching the game, and I was like, oh, 44th game of the year. And as we know as Brave fans, that's a very, sacred number for us. It's like, oh, we got to win this game. And sure enough, we did.
Yeah, I loved it. But, so we got 3 against Chicago and then 3 against Pittsburgh. And like we said, I think we avoid the top 2 guys in Pittsburgh, Skeens and Jones. So you guys got predictions for this week? I'm going to say 5-1.
Yeah, I like 5-1 too, actually.
Ooh, I'm going to go 5-1 because I think... So wait, but okay, who are y'all saying that we drop a game to then?
Probably one.
It's a Cubs game tomorrow.
So both of y'all are saying that we sweep the Pirates?
Yeah.
Hey. I like that. The y'all's predictions are making me want to go 6-0, but I'm going to go the other way. I'm going to say 4-2. I say we take that. 2-1.
We should start submitting these ahead of the show. Like, reveal a card or something. Yeah.
Bam.
Yeah.
Okay. So let's see. Tomorrow's matchup is Morton versus Assad. Assad kicked our ass last week.
Assad kicked our ass, man. So that's why I'm worried about the Cubs. Like, they're not a bad club, dude. I saw him live. I saw him kick our ass live.
Yeah. But
that was the worst beat down that I've had in person. They beat us 7-0?
Something like that. I think it's 7-1 after we won 7-0.
Yeah.
But then Wednesday, game 2 of that Cubs series is Max Green versus Justin Steele. Will be a good game.
Good pitching matchup.
And then let's see, Thursday.
Big Vines, right?
So that's gonna be Vines.
Probably, yeah.
So yeah, that's your good. So I mean, we expect both of those 2-1 to the pitchers that we just talked about to be winners. I mean, honestly, I know we say it, and I know Charlie's our number 4 guy, but I tell you what, I expect Charlie to win a game. I don't care what we're talking about. I expect Charlie to win. So like no matter who we're facing. And I know that's like that might be bold, but I expect Troy to win. Like that's the kind of guy he is. So I think those first two ones we take them, and then the vine. It depends on the vines you get, right?
Yeah, that's true. But also on a side note, Phillies face the Texas Rangers this week, but then they go to Colorado and face the Rockies. So that'll probably be a 3-game sweep for them.
Talking to like we're standings. I don't know. Like Phillies will come back to. I have like zero doubt about it. They're not going to win 115 games.
We're just waiting for the Phillies to get to August. I mean, to get to July and August, and we'll see. If they can keep this pace up, all kudos to them. But I think Phillies fans know just as well as if we were on the same pace that they would, that they'd be like, this is incredible.
Yeah, but they've also got reason to say, like, screw it, you guys can have the division in October again. So there's that.
Well, they're fucking that up then.
Yeah, you can either care about the division or not, right? Like it doesn't, like you can't have it.
Maybe it's all part of the plan though, for the Braves to come in second place and then be the wild card team that beats the number one seed, Phillies, and like we're gonna beat them this time, right?
Look, I'll come out and say it. I don't want the division, so it matters to me. But I mean, that's just that's a Braves thing, right? Like that's ingrained in us for so many years.
But so is all of I wondering in the 90s and 2000s too. So
I know, but
I just don't think there's like a big correlation there. Like I think that's a matter of coincidence more than anything.
Yeah, I mean,
make me more mad. I
don't think they would have won more World Series by losing some of those titles, right?
Very true. Alrighty. Well, cool. You guys got anything else you want to add?
I'm ready to go to bed.
Yeah, me too.
All right.
If you ever go to a doubleheader at Truist, definitely go to Crew Wine Bar, because apparently in the middle of the day they have free pizza if you buy a bottle of, it's either champagne or some wine. So we got a free pizza because we bought a bottle of wine, which seems counterintuitive, but look, when you're in the middle of a doubleheader, you got to do everything you can to get free food, right? So that's my take.
That's good to know.
I feel like the that burger place we go to is usually pretty solid.
Wahlburgers, yeah.
Wahlburgers, yeah.
Not like crazy overpriced.
Yeah, it's like semi-reasonably priced. Like the beer, everything from the beers to the burgers are like normal expensive, not stupid expensive. All right, y'all. It's been fun. I gotta go.
See you next week.
Talk to y'all in a week. Yeah, later. Go Braves.
Go Braves.